fucking mind? Lower that thing. You're gonna blow us all up.
Jesus, man. Calm down.
Don't fucking tell me to calm down. There's a gas leak that can blow half of us all the way to hell with a fucking match. Half the guys on the planet are stuck inside, and the other half became brain-fucked zombies because they got a big-ass spider with a huge vagina stuck on their head. And you expect me to be calm?
Okay, you're right. Now help me out here, all right? Tell me, how do we get them out?
There's two ways to get them out of there. The first is getting the generators on so that we get the power back on to open the doors.
Okay. What's the second way? The second way?
I forgot, okay? I'm under pressure here. Give me a fucking break.
First way then.
Remember, no weapons. Here, take this.
A wrench? Why a wrench?
Because I only got one crowbar, and I have no intention to give it away.
Well, I got bad memories with crowbars anyways. Mitchell, by the way.
Joe. But everyone calls me Boston Joe.
All right, Joe. Let's save your friends from spiders with vaginas.
We're gonna kick some bubblegum and chew some asses, and I'm all out of asses.
Wait a minute. I thought you said no weapons.
About the shotgun, yeah. It was the other room that had the gas leak, not this one, so you're fine.
Really?
I mixed it up, yeah. You're making me nervous, man. Quit it! Fuck yeah! America!
This should do it.
Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for by this some have entertained angels without knowing it. Hebrews 13:2. Welcome aboard, gentlemen. I am Captain Roosevelt. Tell me, who is in charge of all these warriors? Please step up. Your name, young man?
I'm Sergeant.
I have no interest in your rank. Your name. Who are you?
Mitchell.
Mitchell, huh? Yes, Mitchell. A name with many meanings. For some, the meaning is a gift from God. For others, who is like God? Which one are you, Mitchell? Are you a gift from God sent to save us? Or perhaps you are God himself, come to doom our worthless lives?
Perhaps.
He's cursed.
Cursed, eh? What kind of curse is this?
Nothing but some bullshit.
Whoever is at the top of his command dies. Colonel Q, Sergeant Harvey, they're all dead. But whatever happens, he lives.
It's just a coincidence. There's no such thing as a curse.
We'll see about that, Sergeant. You and your men from now on are under my command. Welcome to Avalon Vale, and welcome to the crew.
Delta, light that shit up! Shit!
That's not a curse. You made a deal with the devil. Here, you have it.
Well, it looks like you're the captain now. Captain Mitchell.
It's been 3 years since the 7-Hour War. There are no more countries, only territories where they once were. All the governments having been replaced by one, the Combine. The alien Combine Empire had enslaved humanity, put in place a puppet leader, Dr. Breen, and then started siphoning the Earth's resources. Shorelines fell, exposing the seabed. The remaining humans were gathered in cities, the world outside of such areas filled with wildlife native to other worlds, making the exteriors of cities dangerous. Facilities like Nova Prospect were opened, their goal being to modify humans, erase their memories, and assimilate them into their armies. While some humans were conscripted into service, others volunteered, either for preferred treatment, better living conditions, or personal reasons. Thus, the Civil Protection Branch of the Combine Overwatch was formed, Earth's so-called police. The Combine Overwatch was an impressive force to be reckoned with, but an exploit was found. They had immense power over the air, and even more on land, but they lacked naval capabilities due to their overall goal of draining that resource. Until that happened, we needed a way to defend our ship from their air superiority, and for that, we needed to go to City 9, otherwise known as New Alaska. I should be more careful around here.
grenade.
Really?
Stay alert.
Now this should be useful.
A minute, please. I'll be right with you. Go to your room, honey. Daddy has a guest. I would assume you've come here to assassinate me. But your outfit... it doesn't look like someone who would like to sit in my chair. I do apologize for my rudeness. My name is Boris. I am the administrator of this fine factory.
Look, I don't want to kill you. Not in front of your daughter. I'm just here for the weapons.
Weapons? Mister, do you have any idea what we produce in this factory?
Not weapons?
Not weapons.
What are those things?
Those things are called cremators. You could say they are, in a way, extremely efficient and overzealous janitors. The Combine are planning to spread them throughout the rest of the world. Get rid of the refuse, the detritus, the trash. Keep the streets clean. But in this case, we are the trash.
Are those children?
Yes. This is how they control all the new generations. The Combine raises them as slaves, forcing any child older than the age of 5 to start to work.
What about those younger than 5?
There are none.
How many are there in this factory?
About 100. I know what you think, and I have the same feelings. It disgusts me, but I have to work for them. For my daughter. That's the only way.
I don't think that's disgusting at all.
Excuse me.
Think about it. Wasn't the main reason we were trying to go to space for decades for the resources? If we had the power to enslave them, wouldn't we? Hell, we enslave our own kind. We couldn't care less about an alien race. That's just nature playing out its own game. It's always been between predator and prey. That's the balance. But this time, the tables are turned. They got to us before we got to them, pulling our resources, draining the oceans, enslaving humans. Enjoy your time while you can, Boris, because sooner or later humans will rise up and put a stop to this. But this time round, humans won't even last 7 hours. They won't stop with the military. They will come for all of us, even for you and your daughter.
You are a wise man indeed. Even though I do not share the same feelings as you, I have to agree that, with what you say, you are correct. We just may be closer to the end sooner than we think. But there's a difference between you and me. Until that day, I will not give up on humanity.
You're a good man, Boris. Now get out of here. Take your daughter and leave.
What do you have in mind?
I'm gonna burn the whole factory to the ground and take those kids with me.
You will do this for the children.
Oh, I will, but not for the children. I need an army.
Right after you get out of that room, I have to alarm the Combine. You know that, right?
Do what you have to do and leave.
Even if you don't do this for the children, I do appreciate it. And I won't forget that.
Mitchell.
Thank you, Mitchell. We'll meet again.
We will.
Hello, Captain.
I just don't understand why it's such an important thing.
The captain needs to see it.
The captain needs to see what?
Was gone, now it's back. A gift for the captain. Do you recognize it?
Where did you find this?
One of our guys, Kane, found this in the middle of the water. He was trying to hide it, but we caught him.
Captain, isn't this...
Everybody get out! Get out! I said get out!
We meet again at last.
You.
Authority, power, and time. We have kept our promise, Mr. Mitchell. We gave you all the treasure you could possibly ask for.
That wasn't treasure, it was a curse! All this power does nothing but kill. Authority only to murder. Nothing but the power to kill my own men. And this time, nothing but endless torture.
Let me recall again, Captain. Whoever it takes, whatever it takes, however long it takes, that was the deal, and now the time has come again. We require your services. We need you to kill Dr. Freeman. If there is someone to blame for all of this, all of the suffering, it's the Freeman himself.
Take it all back. I don't want it. I don't want the power, the authority, not even the time. I just want it to end. Freeman can go to hell.
Sadly, I have to inform you, it's not that easy. You see, Captain, from now on, our agreement is coming due. We've done our part, and now it's your turn to do yours.
Or else?
Then I have no option but to let you get in a battle that you have no chance of winning. Now, pardon me, I have to take this back to its owner. Do not be late. City 17 awaits.
Alex,
Yes, Captain?
assemble the men.
Aye, aye, Captain.